1. Hook. You didn't choose the game. Let me start with something that might mess with your head a little. You weren't born bad with money. You were programmed. Yeah, programmed. Like software. Before you ever held your first N1 dollar or coin, the rules were already running in the background. Think about it. Before you learned how to earn money, you learned how to fear it. Before you knew how wealth works, you were taught what was safe. And before you made your first financial decision, someone else had already made most of them for you. Here's the part nobody tells you. Before you earned your first dollar, the rules were already set. School told you, follow instructions. Adults told you, don't take risks. Society told you, get a job, be grateful, don't ask too many questions. And nobody said, hey, maybe learn how money actually works. Instead, you were handed an invisible script. Work hard. Wait your turn. Don't stand out. Hope it works out. Spoiler alert, for most people, it doesn't. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because this invisible system doesn't just control how you earn money, it controls how you think about money, how you spend money, and why, no matter how busy you are, you still feel stuck. Quick question, answer honestly in your head. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but the results just aren't matching the effort? Yeah, that's not laziness. That's programming. And once you see this system, you can't unsee it. Because this video isn't about motivation. It's about waking up. So stay with me. Because if you understand the game you were born into, you finally get the power to stop playing it on hard mode. 2. The invisible money system. Most people think money is just paper, or numbers on a screen, or something that disappears faster than expected at month end. But money isn't just cash. Money is a psychological system. And like every system, it runs on rules. Rules you didn't write, but you follow every day. Here's how it really works. Your beliefs create your habits. Your habits create your outcomes. Not luck, not destiny, not vibes. Beliefs first. If you believe money is hard to get, you hesitate. If you believe rich people are different, you stay comfortable where you are. If you believe safety is more important than growth, you avoid opportunities that feel uncomfortable. And then life gives you exactly what those beliefs deserve. That's why two people can earn the same income, but live completely different financial lives. One builds, one survives. And here's the line that usually hits people in the chest. You don't struggle with money. You're following instructions. Instructions from childhood, from school, from society, from watching how everyone around you reacts to money. No one said, sit down, let me program you. It just happened quietly. You saw fear. You learned caution. You copied behavior. And now, every time money enters your life, your system reacts automatically. Spend, save, avoid, panic, repeat. Quick check-in. Have you ever reacted to money without thinking? Then wondered later, why did I do that? Exactly. That's not you being careless. That's the system running. And the scary part? You can work hard your whole life and never question the system controlling the results. But once you see it, you get a choice. And that's where everything starts to change. Where the programming starts. So where does this money programming actually begin? Not at your first job. Not when you opened a bank account. It starts way earlier, in childhood. Think back for a second. How many times did you hear, money doesn't grow on trees? Don't be greedy. Rich people are selfish. Nobody meant harm, but those phrases didn't disappear. They settled in. So before you ever earned money, you learned to feel weird about it. Wanting more felt greedy. Asking questions felt rude. And dreaming big felt unrealistic. Then came the school system. School didn't teach ownership. It taught obedience. Sit down. Follow instructions. Raise your hand. Wait for permission. You were rewarded for performing tasks, not creating value. For passing tests, not building things. For fitting in, not standing out. No one taught you how to build income streams, create leverage, own assets. But you learned one thing very well, how to wait. And then society finished the job. Safety was praised. Risk was punished. Stability became the ultimate goal. Just get something secure. At least it pays the bills. Don't try anything crazy. So naturally, you chose comfort over growth. Predictability over possibility. Quick question. Does any of this sound familiar? That's because this system didn't program you. It programmed everyone. And when everyone thinks the same way, anyone who thinks differently looks dangerous. But here's the twist. Every financially free person you admire, they questioned this programming. And once you question it, you're no longer stuck inside it. That's when the real game begins. 4. Survival versus ownership thinking. At some point in life, everyone ends up in one of two modes: survival mode or ownership mode. Let's start with survival mode, because most people know this one very well. Survival thinking sounds like, how do I pay bills this month? Let me not take risks. I can't afford mistakes. If I don't work today, I don't earn. So you trade time for money, hour by hour, day by day. Rest feels stressful, weekends feel short, and money always feels slightly behind you. You're not lazy. You're just stuck maintaining life instead of building it. Now let's talk about ownership thinking. Ownership mode asks different questions. How do I build something that keeps paying me? How do I create leverage instead of working harder? How do I think long-term, not just till payday? Owners build systems. They focus on assets, not just income. They're willing to look foolish now to avoid being trapped later. And here's the key difference. Survival mode is reactive. Ownership mode is intentional. Survival mode runs on fear. Ownership mode runs on strategy. Quick reality check. In survival mode, you're busy. In ownership mode, you're building. That's why some people look calm about money. It's not because they're lucky. It's because their money isn't tied directly to their energy. Now pause for a second. Be honest with yourself. Which mode are you in right now? Type survival or ownership in the comments. No judgment. Awareness comes first, because the moment you realize which mode you're operating in, you've already taken the first step out of the trap. And trust me, once you taste ownership thinking, survival mode starts to feel way too small. 5. Why most people never escape. Let's get real for a second. Most people don't escape the financial trap. Not because they're lazy, not because they're unlucky, but because of psychology. First, there's the fear of instability. What if I take a risk and fail? What if I leave my job and the bills don't get paid? Fear is a great motivator for staying exactly where you are. Second, comfort often beats freedom. It feels safer to have a predictable paycheck, even if it keeps you stuck. People will choose a little stress they know over a lot of freedom they don't. Weird, right? But human brains love comfort like dogs love treats. Third, emotional spending. We earn, we feel stressed or bored, we buy things we don't need. A coffee here, a gadget there. Suddenly, the money meant to build your future disappears like magic. And your financial growth paused indefinitely. Fourth, and this one is sneaky, copying lifestyles instead of systems. We watch someone look rich online and think, I need that car, that watch, that lifestyle. So we copy appearances instead of learning the systems that actually create wealth. And just like that, you're broke, busy, and frustrated. Quick reality check. If any of these sound familiar, fear, comfort, emotional spending, copying others, type yes in the comments. It's okay, awareness is step one. Here's the kicker. The people who escape don't necessarily work harder. They think differently. They manage fear. They value freedom over comfort. They invest in systems, not appearances. And once you understand the difference, you start seeing opportunities where everyone else only sees risk. 6. How the system rewards compliance. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed. And who does it reward? People who don't question it. Think about it. The system loves predictability over creativity. It doesn't care about brilliant ideas or bold moves. It cares about people who show up, punch the clock, pay their bills on time, and never rock the boat. Salary? That's control disguised as stability. Your boss isn't just paying you, it's a leash. Follow instructions, get paid. Question instructions. Suddenly you're difficult or unreliable. And debt? Oh, debt is the modern restraint. Credit cards, loans, buy now, pay later schemes. It keeps people busy and stressed. Paying interest is like paying rent for freedom you don't have. The system doesn't punish you. It just quietly nudges you to stay compliant. So here's the reality check. If you follow the rules blindly, you'll be safe. You'll have a paycheck, a roof, and stability. But you'll never taste true freedom. Quick interaction moment. Have you ever noticed how people who follow every rule still complain about money? Type yes or no in the comments. Let's see who's paying attention. The secret? Escape doesn't come from breaking rules recklessly. It comes from understanding them. Once you see how the system rewards compliance, you can decide which rules to follow, which to bend, and which to ignore entirely. Because the system works perfectly for people who don't question it. And now that you're questioning it, you've already taken your first step out. 7. Reprogramming your money psychology. All right, so you see the system. You know the rules. Now what? Step 1. Awareness before action. You can't fix what you don't notice. If you keep spending, stressing, and trading time for money, that's not bad luck. That's programming. Pause. Observe. Notice your habits. This is the first hack most people ignore. Step 2. Learn a high-value skill. Not 10 skills, 1, and master it. Could be writing, coding, sales, video editing, anything people will pay you for. High-value skills aren't about hard work. They're about leverage. One skill well learned, opportunities multiplying faster than a viral TikTok. Step 3. Build assets, not just income. Assets make money for you while you sleep. A business, a digital product, investments, systems that don't need you to grind 24/7. Remember, trading hours for dollars is survival mode. Assets are ownership mode. Step 4. Delay gratification. Stop buying the car, phone, or watch just because you can afford it. Rich people say no to short-term pleasure so they can say yes to long-term freedom. It feels uncomfortable at first, and that's exactly why it works. Step 5. Use leverage. Leverage your skills, your money, your network, even technology. One smart decision multiplied by leverage is exponential growth. Leverage turns effort into results. Quick question. Which step are you skipping right now? Type awareness, skill, asset, delay, or leverage in the comments. Here's the truth. Most people never get here because they stay unaware. You're reading this, so you're already ahead. Reprogram your mindset, follow the rules strategically, and suddenly, the system starts working for you, not against you.
Final wake-up message plus CTA. All right, let's bring this home. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Once you see the system, you either escape it or stay comfortable inside it. You can keep doing what everyone else does, punching the clock, chasing appearances, stressing over bills. And the system will work perfectly for keeping you exactly where you are. Or you can step out. Step out of survival mode. Step out of the trap of thinking your paycheck equals freedom. Step out of the invisible rules that have quietly controlled your money since childhood. This is uncomfortable, because growth always is. But here's the exciting part. Once you understand the system, the rules aren't scary, they're predictable. You can start working strategically, not frantically. You can start building value, leverage, and assets that actually pay you back. You can finally make money work for you instead of chasing it your whole life. Quick reality check. If this video just opened your eyes to the invisible money system, I want to see it. Type "I see it now" in the comments. I want to know who's ready to stop playing in hard mode. And hey, if this made sense, smash that like button. Share it with someone stuck thinking hard work equals freedom. And subscribe to Rules of Wealth, because this channel is all about teaching the silent rules nobody else explains. Remember, wealth isn't loud, flashy, or instant. It's quiet, consistent, and strategic. The system isn't broken, it's just working perfectly for the people who understand it. So the question is, will you stay comfortable or escape?